"Is this some kind of joke?" asked the young officer as she stepped out of the patrol car, a mocking look on her face. James Harris, 82 years old, sat calmly on his Harley, hands steady, eyes fixed on the horizon. "License and registration. Get off the bike now, sir." She wore mirrored sunglasses, hand near her weapon. What they didn't know, in just minutes, 50 soldiers would arrive in Humvees, looking for whoever dared stop James Harris. James wakes at 5 a.m. every day. He's done so for 40 years. A small farm 10 miles from town keeps him busy. His tractor broke down yesterday, but he knew the exact part. Decades of fixing machines does that. In his garage sits a 1970 Harley-Davidson shovelhead, loud, old, but reliable. At 82, he rides better than most men in their 20s. His military reflexes are sharp, but people only see an old man on an old bike. At the town's edge, the traffic light turned red. Harris stopped near a gas station. Then he saw flashing lights in his mirror. Officer Ava Johnson, 28, approached. "Shut off that junk," she said. Harris didn't move. "License and registration," she repeated. He handed her everything, neat and organized in a worn leather wallet. 82? She scoffed. "Don't you think you're too old to ride?" Her partner, Officer Lopez, laughed. "This Harley's older than my dad." They searched him, unnecessarily. A crowd gathered. "Do you have anyone who takes care of you?" Johnson asked. "I've taken care of myself for 82 years, Harris replied. "But it's dangerous," she pressed. "You could cause an accident." Harris said nothing. His calm silence only irritated her more. "I think he's deaf," Lopez whispered. "Mr. Harris, can you hear me?" she said louder. The crowd murmured. Some pitied him, some judged. They didn't know his story. Across the street, Marcus, the gas station owner and Gulf War vet, watched. He knew Harris. For 15 years he'd come in, polite and punctual. Marcus picked up the phone and called Fort Carson. Back on the street, Johnson's voice rose. "You're coming with us for a medical evaluation." "For what?" Harris asked calmly. "Inappropriate behavior. Failure to respond." She added, "Your bike's unsafe at your age." Harris didn't argue. He'd trained hundreds of soldiers. He saw this for what it was, arrogance, not concern. Officer Lopez tried to soften things. "Sir, we're just worried. Slower reflexes, impaired vision. I've been riding for 65 years, never caused an accident." Marcus, still on the phone, explained. "We've got a vet being disrespected, James Harris." "Did you say Colonel Harris?" the officer on the line asked. 15 minutes later, the sound of engines thundered down the road. 12 Humvees pulled up in formation. 50 soldiers stepped out. Captain George Farrell walked straight up to Harris and saluted. "Colonel Harris." The word hit like a bomb. Johnson and Lopez stiffened. Farrell turned to them sharp-eyed. "Who stopped Colonel Harris?" Johnson stammered. "We didn't know." "This man," Farrell barked, "served 3 tours in Vietnam, ran intelligence ops in the Gulf and Afghanistan, trained hundreds, including me. He holds 2 Bronze Stars, 2 Purple Hearts, and a Distinguished Service Cross. He's a living legend." Lopez tried to speak. Farrell cut him off. "Your job is to serve and protect, not humiliate a war hero." The crowd's tone changed, from ridicule to respect. Johnson stepped forward. "Sir, I'm sorry. I didn't know." Harris looked at her. "Never judge someone by appearance. You never know what battles they've fought." Farrell asked, "Colonel, do you need anything?" "No, Captain, but thank you." The soldiers formed a corridor of honor. Harris started his Harley and rode off. 1 hour later, at the local precinct, the sheriff got a call. "Sheriff Smith, this is Captain Farrell. We need to talk." "I've spoken to the officers involved," the sheriff said. "It was a mistake, not a crime." "Understood," Farrell said, "but the military cannot accept our veterans being treated this way. We suggest a training program. Your officers will come to the base, learn what it means to serve." "Agreed," said the sheriff. 1 week later, Ava Johnson stood before her colleagues. I made a mistake. I disrespected someone who deserved deep admiration. But I learned something more important than protocol: dignity. Every person carries a story. Ask before assuming. Listen before judging. Days later, she drove out to Highway 340. Harris was under his tractor, working. She stepped out. "Colonel Harris?" He slid out, wiping grease from his hands. "Officer Johnson, can I help you?" "I came to talk." "Coffee?" Inside, over 2 mugs, Harris asked, "Why did you become a cop?" "To help people." "How many accidents by elderly drivers have you responded to?" "Very few. Most are young, speeding, texting, drunk." He smiled gently. "Then why assume I was the problem?" She couldn't answer. "Respect," he said, "is earned not by rank or uniform, but by how we treat others." She looked at the old Harley by the tree, still running, still riding, just like Harris. And maybe, just like all of us.